Right, welcome everyone to Fazliv's podcast, episode 25. Now, this is a reaction to all the results now of the Mr. Olympia weekend. I'm mainly going to be focusing on Open and possibly cover a little bit of 212 and Classic as well, which I'm interested in. Also, so kicking straight off, we do have a new Mr. Olympia in Brandon Curry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go through the top five and possibly some other mentions as well, and just kind of have a look at what I thought to the physiques and the placings. So Brandon Curry, he was the guy I picked out to be number one when I did the podcast a few days ago. And yeah, I thought he bought it. I think he was very consistent. He was just the right combination of size and shreds that he needed to be. And structurally, when he's standing up there, he just can't be beat. You can say what you like about him in individual shots, but put him next to the rest of the competition, he's just broader. He's got a better taper. He's more muscular. His arms are incredible. Huge muscle bellies all over, and he just looks like a complete Mr. O. Me personally, I'm very pleased that he got it. I think he represents what Mr. Olympia should be. So. Yeah, very, very, very happy with him, and not actually much to say about Brandon. It was a very predictable win for him. I think I would have been shocked if someone else leapfrogged over him with the type of physique which could have won it. So very pleased with Brandon. I think I think he's a deserved Mr. Olympia. I do think this was a case of probably going over mass over shreds, which is an interesting choice, really. Considering what we had last year with Roden, but I think he did just enough. I think he was lean enough but the Olympia is about overall size, so I think he did very, very well. So that's one competitive season. He's got the Arnold and he's got the O, so very good. Right, next up was Bonac. This one really surprised me. I didn't. I'll hold my hand up and say I didn't expect him to come out looking this good. I think he came out looking absolutely incredible. This is probably the best Bonac I've ever seen. The complaint I've had with Bonac's physique, and what I think we could say with regards to the Arnold, where he competed again head to head with Brandon, was that he was a little bit too blocky. I think he actually improved considerably since then. He came in looking tighter. His waist I don't think his waist let him down quite as much. Let me know if you disagree. But I don't think his waist let him down quite as much. I think he looked incredible. Shoulders to width ratio was good. I won't say it was superb, but it was good. Conditioning was amazing. And just sheer muscularity on the guy. He's incredibly big for his size. Next up, this is where I think there was probably a little bit of controversy. I placed Hadi in front of Bonac for the following reasons. They both had the same amount of detail to their physiques. You potentially argue that Hadi had a little bit more, but I don't think that's the case. Potentially with a darker tan, maybe, I don't know, but that's all speculation. But Hadi's just bigger. So I don't understand why he was placed third behind Bonac. The muscle quality of Hadi is better. He's just as lean. And you can see in the pictures, the direct head-to-head pictures, he's far, far wider than Bonac, with a similar size waist. And not a relatively similar size waist, but a similar size waist to Bonac. So his V-taper is considerably better. His legs are considerably more cut up. He's crazy from the back as well. I think Hadi should have got second. Not sure why he didn't. I can't honestly see anything in the comparison to suggest why he should have got third over second. So a bit disappointed with that. I think that was the wrong choice, the wrong decision. Next is Dexter. Yeah, I think Dexter looked a lot better in the night show. I didn't really like his physique in the AM show. I thought his chest looked really flat. It just didn't look good. Credit to the guy for that age. That's fantastic. But the age really has got nothing to do with the Olympia. It's all about how you look on the day. But I thought he improved for the night show, and I think he brought a better level of fullness, which really helped him. So good result for good result for Dexter. Next up is Roelly. Roelly in the morning show, I think he absolutely bodged it. I was extremely disappointed with what he bought. In my opinion, I think what he probably did was he came in a little bit too flat, so his muscles looked smaller, making him look more out of shape. For anybody who's sort of done like a carb up or whatever, you know what I mean. Like the more fuller your muscles are, often, especially when you're lean, you just look that much leaner. And the early stages of a diet when you start to get flat, and then you just end up looking like way worse. Um, it was almost kind of that effect. I think he depleted so much that he ended up looking flatter. I don't really think he recovered from that, unfortunately. He did really well on the night show. I think he looked a lot better in the night show, but I was pretty disappointed with Roelly. It's a shame because I really had him put down as second place, but I don't think he did enough to make up for which wasn't it just wasn't Roelly in the morning show. Roelly is known for being a mass monster. He's known for bringing that wow factor, and we didn't see it. He looked very ordinary up there compared to not compared to Hadi and Brandon. Big shame because I'm a big fan of Roelly. He just seems like he loves the sport and he loves bodybuilding, but still top 5 at Olympia, still a great result. I'm not going to go through all the rest of them, but I want to go through a couple of notable inclusions. Akim Williams, I thought this guy looked incredible. Wow, I mean, much improved package. This is the kind of shape we want to see Akim in. Obviously, he's always been in massive, but he's always come in kind of soft. But if you look at him, so you look at him from the back, he's got sort of some striations in his lower back, glutes are in, and just incredible amount of muscle mass. He's the guy that you can tell trains pretty heavy. He's just got a thickness in that physique. And from the front, you can see sartorius in the detail in his legs, great detail in his quads. Huge guy. Very happy that you actually brought a bit better conditioning in. Another guy that I wanted to point out was Patrick Moore. I think Patrick Moore is probably the biggest controversy of the night. Bigger than Hadi. I think he was way overlooked. So he came 10th. So he's in the top 10, which is like great, obviously. But the guy looked incredible. He looked absolutely incredible. Just amazing V-taper. Huge shape. Great structure. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, really nice clean lines. He's brought up his legs. They look good. They don't look incredible, but they look good. That front double bicep of his front lat spread of his is incredible. Front double bicep also incredible. And he's got the stomach vacuum as well. Great control over his midsection. Yeah, awesome. What a result for Patrick Moore. Yeah, a little bit overlooked, I think, but there you go. And if we have a look down, see who else we've got. I'm going to have a little talk about Luke Sandoe. Personally, I think Luke looked good, but I think it is unfortunate. I think he wasn't hard enough to do much damage. Obviously, he wasn't improved from the show where he took second to Dexter. I forget the name of that show, but he wasn't improved from there, which is a big shame because he's got potential. He's young, but I don't know. I don't know what he's doing with that. It's hard to speculate, but when he was backstage, he seemed to have an awful lot of energy for a guy who's been dieting for God knows how long. So I don't know what that tells you. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to speculate. And personally, I like Luke's personality. He's a fellow Brit, so I don't want to make any speculations. But he seemed to have an awful lot of energy for somebody who's been dieting for 6 months. Take from that what you will. Another guy whose physique I really like is Steve Kucklo, who came 6th, just outside the top 5. Great result for him, though. I mean, that's fantastic. Did not like his front double bicep. I don't know why, but pretty much all details seem to go to shit in his front double bicep. He needs to work on that. But sheer muscularity and stage presence, I think, was very, very good. He's like 295, 6 foot, something like that. Yeah, great physique. Have a look at Michael Lockett. Yeah, Lockett looked great. I think he brought in a good package. Not enough to do much damage within the top 10. Just looked a little bit, some of these guys made him look a bit small, but you can't fault the guy. He deserves his place up there. He's got incredible conditioning, good balance now between upper body and lower body. Big fan of him. So yeah, overall, I think we had a fairly predictable placings for men's bodybuilding. A little bit upset about Hadi versus Bonac. Surprised with Roelly. I think he should have bought a better package, but apart from that, it lined up pretty much with what I thought would happen. A lot of people were saying that Roelly wasn't going to get in shape, and they were right. They were right. I'll put my hand up and say they were right. I was basing it off last year's Olympia, where he came in and he looked fantastic. So on paper, he should have been a favourite. So for me, that's a big disappointment. But hey, it is what it is. In terms of sort of, we've seen Brandon win this, and I think he's a well-deserved champion. But in terms of the next evolution of open bodybuilding, like what are we looking for next? Who's going to be the next game changer? I really think it's going to go the same way as strongman, actually. And I think over the next 10, maybe 20 years, I don't know, but what we're going to see is taller and taller guys. This is what I think is going to happen. I think with the improvements that Oxygen Gym have made in terms of the welfare of the athletes and how often they're feeding them, the training regime, living the lifestyle basically just like athletes, I think eventually what we're going to see is a guy who's maybe 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", even, and who weighs something like 400 pounds. And like I've said lots of times, he's going to cut at the competition. He'll walk in, he'll have that right combination of muscle and shreds, and you just won't be able to say no to him because he's just that big. And I think that's going to be the next evolution of bodybuilding, I think, in my eyes. I don't think it's going to be smaller and smaller guys. I think it's going to be taller and taller guys with improved focus on the nutrition aspect of things and really getting that down to a T, getting the lifestyle factors down to a T. Working with some of these nutritionists who can force meals down these guys. You look at what happened to Strongman, that's exactly what happened. After Pudzianowski's era, it was all taller and taller and taller guys, just capable of doing more, having more presence. And I know it's a completely different sport. You're looking at performance rather than aesthetics, but that's where I think the next evolution of bodybuilding will happen sometime over the next 10 to 20 years. I don't think we're going to see anyone. There's no one on the horizon right now. I think there's a French-Canadian guy who's pretty tall, but I don't know how he'll fare on stage. But who knows? Now, one more thing I'm going to talk about. Well, two more things I'm going to talk about is the 212. Kamal Elgargni. That's how you pronounce it. Kamal, everyone just calls him Kamal. Tremendous physique at like 47 years of age. Fantastic physique. So he won the 212 class. I don't even think he was 212. I think he was less than that, but he looked absolutely incredible. Just shreds upon shreds. And he just seems like a genuinely super nice guy as well. Also, I don't know where he lives. If anyone wants to let me know where he lives, that'd be great, because he's got a really odd accent. He sounds quite foreign, but he seems to dip in and out of the South London accent. So I don't know whether he just watches a lot of films, English films like Snatch and stuff like that or whatever. But he's got a really odd accent. But yeah, incredible personality and it's great physique. So very, very pleased with that. And also one last mention for Chris Bumstead, who won the men's classic physique. Yeah, always been a big fan of this guy. I think he represents what physique should be about. He's got great clean lines, awesome taper, great muscularity. He's got the whole package, and he won all that despite having the dodgiest facial hair on the Olympia stage. So overcoming that alone was really a huge achievement. So well done, Chris, for your placing despite the mustache. And that's about it. I don't have any interest in physique at all, really, or any of the women's side. Sorry. I wouldn't know what to comment on when it comes to that. So, yeah, that's the Olympia placings. Just to kind of sum that up, men's open bodybuilding, new champion Brandon Curry. Second place, William Bonac. Third, Hadi Choopan. Fourth, Dexter Jackson. Fifth, Roelly Winklaar. Sixth, Steve Kucklo. And the rest. Our crowd favourite, Luke Sandoe, coming in at 11. And notable exception, Patrick Moore coming in at 10th. 212 and under class won by Kamal Elgargni, and men's classic physique won by Chris Bumstead. Right, I'm going to call it there. I just wanted to do a quick reaction podcast. But yeah, for me, that was a super exciting Olympia. Very, very excited about it. I think some people were saying it was disappointing. I just don't get that at all. How could you consider this to be disappointing? Every other Olympia you've come in and you've had to look at a shit Phil Heath. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of his. You got to look at an ever. Well, I'm not going to say shit. Maybe that's a little bit harsh, but an ever worsening Phil Heath. Not getting any better. Coming to a fairly standard conclusion. Last year was good controversy. He got beat. There were some good placings. Yeah, so I personally, I think this was all wide open and pretty much everybody bought it, which I think is really, really good. Yeah, and you know what? No mention of Kai Green at all from anyone, and rightfully so. I think I don't have any time for that shit, really. Yeah, he doesn't want to play ball. I don't think he should be given the time of day. He's taken his ball. He's gone home. So stay there. I don't see why he's got such a big fan base when it comes to that kind of stuff, because he had all the tools to win and maybe even win this year, but he blew it. So in my mind, he's always going to be the guy who had the tools, who had the potential, but fucked it. And it's not good to be that guy. So on that note, I'm going to call it there. All the best. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Speak to you soon.